Don here again. This is going to be my first cooking video. Could be a disaster, could work out okay. I'm going to make my version of venison chili. Everybody makes chili, right? Well, check mine out. It's a little bit different, and we're going to call it Northwoods Chili because a lot of ingredients come from the Northwoods. I've got a couple pounds of venison. I'm going to grind this up. This is stuff that I had set aside for stew, but I've turned all my ground venison into sausage, whether it was Italian or sweet sausage. So I'm going to grind that up with the KitchenAid. I like to do this when Karen's not home because I'm very rough on her kitchen equipment, and I've been known to burn a few things out. So she's let me use this attachment. Works really great, you know, instead of buying a grinder because I don't grind up that much. So basically what we got venison, we got red bell pepper, red onion, celery, Shitake mushrooms. I love mushrooms. Baby Portobello mushrooms. And then we're going to use crushed tomatoes, black beans instead of kidney beans. The heat, this is chili, but there's no chili powder in it. Comes from Chipotle peppers at the Adobo sauce. Got some beef stock. We got a good Canadian beer. We're going to add that. A little olive oil, a little Worcestershire sauce. Some spicy Montreal steak seasoning. I like everything spicy. A little cumin, a little garlic. So I'm going to cut this stuff all up, and I'll be back. I will tell you that I am a wimp when it comes to cutting up onions, so I'll use a food processor for that. And we'll be back in just a minute with all the ingredients, and I'll show you what's next. Food processor time. All right, well that thing cuts them up just too small, so I'm gonna cut them up the old-fashioned way. Get some bigger pieces of onion in there. Cool. All right, let's grind up the venison. All right, we're gonna grind up some venison. We're using a coarse bit. All right. That looks good. I love coarse ground venison. We're going to start off, I'm going to cook this in this big frying pan. A little olive oil in there, a couple of tablespoons. That looks close enough. I'm going to throw the meat in here once this gets good and hot. And some Montreal steak seasoning. I like the spicy. So this is in honor of my deer hunting buddies up in Quebec, Louis Martin and Pierre Tellier. Shared hunting camp with them up in Anacostia. Was a blast. Probably one of the most fun hunts I've ever been on. Really, Anacostia is an adventure hunt. If you ever get an opportunity to go there. Ooh, that's a lot of meat. I like a hearty chili. A lot of meat, a lot of veggies. Stirring that up. I'm going to put this Montreal steak in there. About a palm full. Now, since I had my heart surgery, I'm trying to make everything heart healthy. And there's no better meat than venison. No cholesterol, no fat. And so from that standpoint, it's a perfect meat for making chili or whatever. In a couple of minutes, a lot of meat in there, so we're gonna give it a few more minutes, brown it up just a little bit more. Don't tell anybody. The only sodium that's going to be in this dish is what's in this Montreal steak, and it's not that much. So this is going to be relatively low sodium, low fat, because of the venison and everything I bought, whether it's the black beans, the tomatoes, all are low sodium or no sodium added. You can see the meat is brown. Now I'm going to set it aside. Alright. Another tablespoon of olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil would be good, but I don't have any. So we're using regular olive oil. Let that heat up. Now while you were gone, I chopped these baby portobellos in half. They're already sliced. And the shiitake mushrooms. Throw them all in there. I love mushrooms. So my chili is heavy in mushrooms. So if you like mushrooms, you'll love it. If you don't like mushrooms, get something else, I guess. So you want the mushrooms to soften up before you add the rest of the veggies. All right, we're back. Getting a little hot in the kitchen. I don't need all this beer. This is a 24-ounce beer. I don't need all that. I need about 12 ounces of beer for this, so you don't mind if I have a little drink. Using Canadian beer, Montreal Spice, in honor of my buddies from Quebec, but also, you may not know this about me, but I grew up on the Canadian border in upstate New York. And so I spent a lot of time in Canada, playing hockey as a kid, hunting as an adult, and I go there for work quite regularly. I love my Canadian brothers to the north. Mushrooms are just about ready for me to put the rest of this in, so they've softened up some. And now I'm going to push them off to the side, and I'm going to add the rest of the veggies. Celery, peppers, onions. So now we'll let those soften up. Looks good, doesn't it? Let all those soften up and then we'll mix them all together. So these are starting to soften up nice. I'm going to mix them up with the mushrooms. Alright. Then we're going to add the meat back in. The recipe calls for 2 pounds of meat. I actually looked at those packages after I'd opened them up, and they were almost 1.5 pounds a piece. So, like I said, I like I like a hearty chili. That's looking pretty good. That's meat and vegetables. How can you go wrong? All right, now 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So I'm just going to play it like that. Say that's a good amount. And it calls for 4 to 6 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of minced garlic in there. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Now, for the good stuff. To bring the heat, Chipotle peppers with Adobo sauce. I'm going to take a couple peppers out of here. I might do 3, just because I like my chili hot. I won't use as much of the adobo sauce. You can put a tablespoon of the sauce in here. Man, I'm sweating a little bit. Need a beer. But I'm just going to use what I have right there with the peppers and the sauce that comes with it. I'm going to spread that out kind of evenly. Mix that in a little bit. Cut those all the way through. Some of those peas, somebody's going to get a bite that's going to have a bite. All right, now that's looking good. Time to add the tomatoes. Time to add the beef stock. And I went with 0 sodium beef stock. And I'm supposed to put a cup of that in here. And a beer. Save the rest for me. And the black beans. Now you're going to want to let that reduce a little bit. And that's about it. I'm going to let this cook down, and I'll show it to you when I plate it up, or when I bowl it up. That's it. It's a little different. You know, it uses a lot of mushrooms. It uses black beans instead of kidney beans. Put a beer in there, but it's awesome. Hope you like it, and we'll be back in a little bit to plate it up. All right. Now that looks really good. I think I put too much stock in there because it could have been too much beer. But it might have been too much beer because I'm almost out. This is the last beer in the house. So I'm going to let the rest of that chili simmer down a little bit. And I can see a big piece of adobo, or of chipotle. Glad I got that one. Chili without chili powder. Amazing. Give it a try. I think you'll like it. It's a little bit spicy, but it won't hurt you. Promise. Cheers. Have a happy holiday.